What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the review scores for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Talk about what you could expect from it. We'll go over some of my predictions of what the game is actually going to get, but mainly talking about what you can expect to see that day from fanboys, from journalists, all that jazz. I actually made a very similar video about Starfield. People seem to really like it. I actually think this is very much a similar situation, just on the opposite side of things, right? Instead of Starfield, instead of an Xbox exclusive, you're now looking at a PlayStation exclusive. So we don't have long to wait. We got about a week and a few days left until review scores go live on the 16th at, I believe, 10 a.m. Eastern time or somewhere around there. In terms of what I'm kind of expecting from this thing, in terms of the scores, I think high 8s to low 9s. I think that's probably where it's destined to be. I'm not putting a lot of stock into it because ultimately, a thing that I love to say in all these videos, and I'm never going to stop, make your own decisions. The scores are going to be out there. You're going to see the 10 out of 10s. You're going to see 9s, 9.5s, all this stuff. Make your own decision based off of what you see, based off of what you like, not based off a big flashy number. Now, in terms of going a little bit more into that, one thing that I think you should expect too is a little bit of fanboyism, if that's even a word, and kind of across the board, okay? So what I mean by this, and you did see this with Starfield, again, on both sides, you're going to have, whether it's websites, whether it's creators, whatever, you're going to have people that prop the game up simply because of what it is. And I'm not in the market for that whatsoever. Again, that's why largely I don't care about scores. You're going to have people that give it scores because it's a Spider-Man game, because they're Spider-Man fans. They may give it a higher score. You might have people or websites, and you often see this on Metacritic, when you have Xbox-specific sites that are clearly slanted towards Xbox. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that until, of course, you do a review and say all you do is give games, 10s out of 10s. And it's the same thing for PlayStation. There are many, many PlayStation websites that literally would maybe have PlayStation in their name. It's why you can't put stock in them, at least in my opinion, right? When you have PlayStation in your website name and you give the game, say a perfect 10, or obviously, like, there's going to be things maybe that they don't like. Maybe it's a 9, 9.5. I'm not saying every single PlayStation site on planet Earth is getting the game a 10, but it's just why I don't put much stock into it, because you kind of can see the slant. Now, another thing that I absolutely expect is it might be the worst day on planet Earth in terms of, I'd say, social media, but mainly I would say X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. This is something I had predicted with Starfield. I do believe I was exactly right, and I think I'm going to be right again. You're going to have the clash of the two most annoying groups, I think, on planet Earth: Xbox fanboys and PlayStation fanboys. Now, a few things to keep in your head. Number one, if you're still here, I think you're willing to risk, spoilers, right? Especially as the days go on. Do not be surprised if spoilers are thrown around very, very lightly from the other side. This is something with Starfield as well. You saw that the day the scores went live. The day, basically what this is you have a lot more footage out. You have a lot more, okay, you can kind of see this thing or that thing, or maybe there's a review site that gives away a major spoiler in a game. What you would have from fanboys generally is the opposite side really emphasizing that, because they do not care about the experience. It's why I constantly call out fanboys on both sides. They don't actually care about the games whatsoever. They care about the corporations for whatever reason, probably because of clicks and for internet fame. But that's what you're going to get. I think you're going to have a blatant disregard for any kind of spoilers on social media, and it's going to come from the other side, just like Starfield was the same thing with PlayStation fans. This is what happens. This is what happens with console exclusives. So from a spoiler point of view, get ready, because it's going to be thrown out very, very lightly, because they just flat out don't care. Another thing is you're going to see a lot of double standards on both sides. You're going to see things that Starfield did well that maybe Spider-Man doesn't. You're going to see that being called out. You're going to see just double standards in general there. Vice versa. Maybe think Spider-Man over Starfield. It's going to be nuts. So I'm going to be checking it out, I guess, in the morning. I love to talk about it. I love to kind of emphasize how stupid these people are. But all things considered, again, don't put too much stock into it. But be prepared, because that Monday, not only will the scores be out, but you're just going to see, I think, a lot of fighting, just a lot of garbage. And it's sad. It's actually really sad that that's what comes out of all of these things. And it doesn't happen for everything, but you see it with the God of War Ragnaroks of the world. You see it with Starfield. I guarantee you're going to see it with things like Avowed or Hellblade going forward with Xbox. You're going to see it probably with like a Stellar Blade with PlayStation. It's just, it always happens. It always happens, and you can't get it away from it. So I do think, again, like I said in the beginning, I like to give myself a range, so I didn't give you a proper range in terms of review scores. I do think somewhere in the 88 to 91. I'm going to make that my label. It gives me a good solid 4-point range to kind of work around. I think that's where this game is going to land. I'm very excited, and I'm very excited to see the new stuff, but I don't know. It's going to be tough for me. I think I'll like peruse it just a little bit. Definitely do want to see the scores because it's always a fun kind of conversation. But generally, I don't know. After that, I think I'm going to largely peace out. I don't want to be spoiled. Again, I think spoilers are going to be out in full force by that Monday and as the days go on. And also just the massive amount of fighting. You're going to, another thing I just remembered right now, like comparison kind of screenshots. So you'll see things like PlayStation game scores versus Xbox. You might see a lot of people just flat out throw out the Starfield review scores versus Spider-Man, and it's just to get people riled up, right? Like, we know their game. It works. It very clearly works, but that's all it's for. It's not intellectual. If you're going to go for people that like actually are going to point stuff out, I think that's probably the wrong place and time. So we'll see what happens. I'll be playing it. I'll be reviewing it in case maybe this is like your peace out kind of video from me. I'll be having a full review on my channel eventually. I got to beat it first, but once I do it, I'll have a full review as the days go on. So let me know what you think in the comments, what you expect to see from the game, what the review scores you expect the game to get. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.